When you getting money, everything sunny, everything funny, everything lovely, everything yummy, sweet like honey. Instagram going dummy, bad bitches need plumbing. If you hating, let it go. If you get money, let it show. When you get
Hey, welcome back.
Look, I'm gonna hit her with the what's happening.
What's down, baby?
Did I do it right?
Nah.
Okay.
You was a little close.
Look,
a little
I need
close.
practice.
Yeah,
I
you
need
gotta
some
practice.
one-on-ones with
Yeah,
y'all.
I got you. But hey, welcome back to the Sweet and Savory Sister podcast. We are here today. We're gonna hit y'all with a little more knowledge.
Right.
You know, the last 2 episodes, you was getting to know us a little bit better. Yeah, where we come from, our background.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna hit y'all with what we talking about today?
With today, well, the name of the episode is Before the Climax.
Ooh. What's
So,
that?
in business.
Oh man.
But yeah, so today we're gonna be talking about us kind of like from college, work life, a little bit of personal, not too much, and pretty much the process leading up to becoming an entrepreneur. Yeah, right.
Okay. All right.
You know,
I like
talk
that.
about
I
those
like
moments
that.
when you just was working at a job and you got fed up and you were like, you know what?
Hated that shit.
You know what? Fuck this shit. No
I don't
more.
need this shit.
No more. But yeah, so we're going to talk about that because it's something that everybody can relate to. Everybody
Yes,
can
I
relate to
agree.
that point to where you work for somebody else, you busting your ass, trying to prove yourself, and something happened and you had like an aha moment. It was just like, you know what? This is not for me.
Definitely had
This is
one
not
of
for
those
me.
moments.
And just a little bit of a disclaimer, we're talking about our story. We do understand that entrepreneurship is not for everybody.
True that.
You know,
True
it's
that.
something that I encourage because it's a level of freedom that you will not experience working for somebody else
Right.
unless you just got a bomb ass boss who just
Unless you really love your job.
Yeah,
you know? And
right.
some people do. Some people really love their jobs.
Right,
You know, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
To be able to have somewhere where you know, you go in there every day, it's secure, you like your work environment, that is a blessing.
you got some good ass benefits.
Yeah, that's great. That's amazing.
Right. But
That's what I'm trying to give. You know what I'm
Provide
saying?
for
That's what I'm
somebody
trying to
else.
provide
Yeah.
for somebody else. I'm
Right.
trying to make that possible.
Right,
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying?
But even if you do have a job, I strongly suggest having multiple streams of income and, you know, working that job, keeping those benefits, but, you know,
Get you a side hustle.
Yeah, right.
ain't nothing wrong with
right.
that.
Adding some
We all
side
need
hustle.
some extra money.
Right, exactly. That
Yeah,
could be,
for sure.
you know, generational wealth you're creating.
Yes.
That could be your vacation fund. That could be investment property, all
Savings,
that stuff.
whatever.
So, yeah, right. So, you know, we strongly encourage entrepreneurship, even if you do have a full-time job.
Yep.
Add you some side hustles on the side.
Yeah.
Who don't like money?
Exactly.
Right.
Who doesn't need it?
Right, and
We
you
all do.
deserve to live the lifestyle that you want. In order to
Exactly.
do that, finances will provide the opportunity to be able to do that. So, for me, after high school, I didn't go straight to college. I went straight to the workforce. I was working retail. Well, nah, I worked a little bit of fast food. And then
Didn't
I
know
got
that.
I got into KFC on my first job.
For real?
Flipping
That was your
chicken.
first job.
Flipping that chicken,
was
girl.
working at
I
KFC
did
too.
everything. I did everything.
I did not
all
know
of
that.
it. Yep, I
Okay.
did that. But yeah, that was my first job, and then I got into retail. I worked at Ross as a front end supervisor, and then I got
okay.
recruited from Ross to Justice. I worked for that company for 11 years, and that company made me who I am today. I'm blessed for the job. All the highs and the lows, the ups and the downs, and you know, getting reported to HR, all that stuff. I'm blessed for all of it because
The
I
hell
learned.
you was doing to get reported to HR?
Look, getting them bitches in line. That's
Right.
What, that's what. Getting them in line. You gonna work for me. Your ass is gonna work.
I know that's
Yeah.
right. Damn, you sound just like Daddy. God damn.
You gonna work. You gonna work because I mean, to me, it's like I want to be number one. I want to be on top.
Yes.
You know, I want my store to be the best.
Strive
In
for
order
the
for it,
best,
yeah, in
always.
order for it to be the best,
All
you know, you
aspects.
gotta crack that whip and blow that whistle. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't like that.
I mean, ain't nothing wrong wrong with that though. But you know when you do it in the right way.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So my biggest thing was in management was making sure that I brought the best out of my staff. So most of my girls who stuck with me and really hung in there, they all got promoted. They all, I told them, I'm like, look, we don't do minimum wage here. If you're going to work for me, I'm going to promote your ass. We're going to get you into, part-time management, full-time management, get you some benefits. Because, a lot of times when you're young, like, that insurance with your parents about to run out.
Hell yeah. I remember when mine ran out. Shit.
It's about to run out. So it's like you got to provide that for yourself. And to me, it's like I feel like management teaches you how to be in business. Management taught me how to be an entrepreneur. You have to learn. I learned how to run somebody else's business, and then I learned how to take those skills from what I learned. Yeah, applied it to my own business. So yeah, but I mean,
great to think about it like that.
Yeah, big time. But I enjoyed retail for what it was. Why I got reported to HR. Exactly. I think I had got transferred to a new store, so I was playing cleanup after another manager who really didn't.
They weren't doing it right.
Yeah, she was just letting them come to work, do whatever they want. They were telling me that they used to be like sitting on the countertop eating burgers and stuff. Yeah,
what?
All that crazy stuff. And it showed in the numbers. The store underperformed. They never did well, and it was in a predominantly black area. It was my first time working in a completely black Stonehurst Mall, working in a completely black area. Man, I turned that store around, but them girls who was there beforehand, they didn't like change it, and they gave me hell every step of the way.
Damn. Right. They hated your ass.
Yeah, they did. Couldn't stand
Can't stand it, bitch.
Yeah, they couldn't stand me. So, turned the store around. A girl reported me. She reported me to HR and she said that I was too demanding. She said that I made her work too hard.
Oh, she was just lazy.
But the thing that I learned with companies and HR, any type of HR claim, they take that shit seriously.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I get it. But even with her saying the stuff that really makes sense in a numbers perspective, if anybody feels threatened or they feel uncomfortable or any type of environment, they treated me like I did something
like you
wrong.
was wrong.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They treated me. They completely sided with her. They completely said, "Oh yeah, HR is a trip.
Oh, that sucks.
HR is a trip." They did a full-out investigation on me. They investigated her. I mean, and the other team members, they pretty much sided with her too because all of them, nobody wanted to work. So it ended up being a whole mess. I got reprimanded. I did get written up or whatever, and I was like on probation or whatever. But that was the first sign that it was time for me to get the ass. No, we couldn't do that either.
Y'all get up out of here.
It's a mess, and Georgia's a different type of state with a lot of things. But it was a learning lesson. But it was my first time kind of knowing that I bust my ass for a company. Every store that they put me at, I turned it around. I was running 2 stores during peak season, during Christmas time. I was running 2 stores. Yeah.
I remember that.
And that shit was hard, man. But I hired for a whole nother store. I got them ready. I ran that store and my store during Christmas time. And it was crazy. But I had done all of that stuff, trying to prove myself, trying to grow within the company. And as soon as the HR shit happened, it was just like, all that was forgotten.
You weren't like, like that didn't matter.
Yeah,
oh,
so I mean, so that was my first little striker. Like, okay, like, you need to start thinking. You need to start thinking about what next door you're gonna create for yourself, because having to continuously go through that, because it can happen to anybody. It can happen to anybody. So, sis, tell us a little bit about your background.
So my very first job was Zaxby's, in Jackson, Mississippi. That was my first ever real job. Like, I was a senior in high school, and I think I pretty much just kind of like wanted something to do and wanted to earn some extra money. I ended up getting the job because of Nakia. She was real sweet. We went to church together, so I went and, applied for the job or whatever, and she was there. She was like one of the managers. And she was like, "Oh, I know who you are. I see you at church every Sunday with your family or whatever." So she gave me the job. That was my first job. It was really good. I got my feet wet, of course, and learned experience as far as dealing with customers and customer service and stuff like that, because I was just a cashier. I wasn't, working in the kitchen or whatever. So My manager, Doug, he was really sweet. He was like the general manager over the whole store. And, you know, I would talk to them about my goals and my plans as far as what I was doing once I graduated. They knew I was going to culinary school. So Doug actually gave me my first Serve Safe book to like study. So they helped me out a lot because I was like ahead of the game. By the time I got into culinary school, I knew some things. And of course I had to take the test in culinary school for my Serve Safe. So I already like, you know, was knowledgeable about it and stuff. So that was my first job. And then once I moved to Tampa and was in school for a little while, I can't remember how long it took me to get another job, but I ended up working back at Zaxby's in Tampa. It was a good job. I mean, it was fun. The managers and stuff were cool, but yeah, it got a little crazy because come to find out, the manager was stealing. He was stealing money, and I ended up quitting. It was crazy. But it was still a good experience. But I ended up, you know, learning things that I needed to use now for like, as far as knowing how to deal with customers and just even the pace of like, you know, fast food, whatever. So it was a good experience. But after that, I think it was maybe a few months went by and P.F. Chang's was opening up in Clearwater. Okay. Like they had just built it and opening it up. So they came to my school. They came to the Art Institute and, of course, you know, was doing like a job fair search, whatever. Ended up getting a job. I was making $10 an hour. Boy, I thought that was a lot of money. I was like, ooh, it's lit. They get $10. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's still in college and on top of getting refund checks. Man. So I'm like balling. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I was really getting like a lot of hours because, like I said, you know, this was a brand new restaurant. So not only did we help them open and stuff, like I was, like once it opened, I was closing, I was opening, I was doing all this. So I learned a lot of skills as far as like time management and keeping up with the pace and making sure you play things right. So I do, I appreciate P.F. Chang's for that because I learned a lot. That was my first real kitchen job, and without that, I probably wouldn't have learned, you know, the skills that I have now to be able to run my own business.
When we came to visit you up there, girl, everything was good. One thing I remember that was so good. It was a banana dessert.
Yep.
Oh, girl.
I probably made it. They used to come out on Pantry. That was the name of the station I worked, but it was a they were like little banana spring rolls with the ice cream and like the caramel on top.
The beginning of the jambalaya egg roll.
I ain't gonna lie, they did give me a lot of inspiration as far as egg rolls because I used to have to roll egg rolls, you know, like if somebody didn't come to work, because it wasn't my job, but if somebody didn't come, you know, the manager asked me with the head chef, he would ask me, you know, if I could. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? So, I learned a lot.
Those was real good.
Yeah.
So, for me, I was still working retail. Like I said, I was doing it for 11 years. And after the second time, I reported to HR because one of my staff members came to work smelling heavily like marijuana. The customer started to notice. I told her to go home. She contacted HR, and my boss pretty much told me that I couldn't do that. I have to let her work. So, you know, at this point, you know, I had really started planning my exit. I was actually looking for another job. I got offered for another job. And I told my current job that, you know, hey, I got another offer just to see if they valued me. They didn't budge, didn't offer me no additional money. So I didn't, I didn't take the job. They didn't kind of say it like that, but it's just a lot of things I noticed when you're working a job. Jobs, they manipulate you.
Man, do they?
They manipulate you. My God. My boss came in trying to, you know, tell me, you know, talk negatively about the company and all these different things, like trying to talk me out of it. But I don't really care. All I hear, all I need to talk about the money, you know? So they didn't budge, they didn't budge. He manipulated he thought he did. I knew exactly what was going on. And so I just decided to make some moves on my own. I went back to school. And I used, I think I probably was working 4 days a week, sometimes 3 days a week. I was using my personal time, using my sick time. I was using all of my time up because I knew I was getting ready to leave. I knew I wasn't going to stay there. I was working on building a food truck, at the time. And I was using my money from school to pay for the food truck.
That was so smart. I wish I would have, man. Oh, God.
Yeah, well, that's so what I did. I just went to a community college, took out the maximum amount of loans, and before I was growing the business, I was just paying for school out of pocket because it wasn't that expensive. I was going to a community college, like I said. But once I started moving towards, getting the business and stuff like that, I took out the maximum amount, and that's what paid for a lot of the stuff with the food truck. I mean, and I did that because the interest rates on student loans are lower than what you can find anywhere else.
That's a major key right there.
Yeah,
y'all heard that?
Go back to school.
Go to school, get that refund check.
Yeah, go back to school and take out loans that way versus other ways. But don't get ridiculous. Smart. Like I said, I went to an inexpensive school. I didn't go to a school that cost a lot of money to where it's like, yes, I got to pay it back. But just to be honest right now, like, I think I probably owe maybe $19,000.
That's
not
bad.
What I mean? So I went to,
that's I said,
it was a community college. So that's what I did. And I kept working my job, but, it was minimal. I made sure that my numbers were still, I won't say my numbers were perfect because they couldn't be. Well, I was being pulled and tugged so many different places, but my business was my priority. Right. So pretty much up until me getting ready to leave, if my ex-boss ever see this, it is what it is. But I pretty much told them that I was going to do an internship with my school because it was coming up for me to graduate. So I told them I was doing an internship with my school and I needed the weekends off. My internship was a food truck. So I had already applied for a whole bunch of events, and I was testing the food truck off to see if this could sustain my lifestyle. If it could sustain my lifestyle or whatever. So that's pretty much what I did when I started making, like my paycheck in a day, stuff like that. I decided to jump. I just decided to jump. I left my job, but I also got certified in lash extensions. So, just lovely. That's what my business, the beauty business, is called. But I got certified in that because I really didn't believe in just having one income coming in to sustain me. So I was like, let me tap into something that's the opposite of the food truck. And I got certified to do that. So I started building my clientele with that. And I started doing both. I think I quit my job. It's been 2 years. It'll be 2 years in May. I quit my job and it's just been history since. It ain't been the easiest journey, but I'm glad I did it. But like I said, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from my job.
I learned a lot from PF Chains too, and like I worked at 2 different locations because like I said, I was there when I was in college in Tampa. I was working at the one in Clearwater. Then right when I got close to almost graduate, almost about to graduate, I moved to Orlando with Markel. Then we found out I was pregnant, ended up having a baby. I was working at the PF Chains in Orlando, and then I stopped working because I just had Janae, but then I went back after I had Janae. And in between that, I think I was doing the meal deliveries and stuff. I was doing that. So, still trying to like hustle, get my stuff going and whatever. And after I went back, after I had Janae and stuff, my old manager who used to be at the one in Clearwater actually came there to the one in Orlando. So, I'm like, okay, cool. His name was Jose. He was a little Spanish dude, Chef Jose. He was real cool. At least he was cool in Tampa. The one in Clearwater, he was cool. But for some reason, when he came to Orlando, it just was a little different. But I was there working and stuff, and just knew that wasn't it. The whole time I think Markel was Ubering, and we were planning for the food truck, working on the food truck, and me, not necessarily realizing you can't share your vision with everybody. So I used to be at work talking about it. Oh, I'm building a food truck. I got a food truck coming, and I don't think they believed me.
But you was excited.
Yeah, I was excited that, you know, I'm here 8 hours, so I mean, like, we gotta talk about something.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I don't think they believed me. And then, you know, as it got close, as the food truck was being built, it was done. He hit me with like, oh, well, I'm gonna need you here more, blah, blah, blah. And I told him, like, well, look, I gotta go get my food truck. He tried to, like, throw some more hours on me, just being shady, you know what I'm saying? And so I had to quit. I left. I went to work that day. He told me, I can't remember what he told me, but he told me something I did not want to hear. Because I already told him, like, I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go get my food truck. Baby, I did not go back to work. I sent them a nice little message on hot schedules. I told them, I was like, look, I appreciate y'all, but this is it. I got to focus on my own career. And ever since then, we was, you know, working with the food truck.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome, sis. There really is. So, like, let's give the people some advice.
Okay.
Let's give the people some advice. Well, my advice is do what makes you happy. You know, make sure that you spend quiet time with yourself to make sure that you're happy in life.
That's true.
When I was working retail, I was working. I never used my personal time until the end, because I think I left with like negative hours because I was not playing. Y'all ain't getting I'm using at all.
Yeah.
But do what makes you happy and take quiet time and get away from the noise. When people are always in your ear, you're not really able to sit down and process and do what's best for you and really listen to your spirit and allow it to guide you. You know, once I got fed up and left, you know, I knew it was time for me to leave. But I feel like if I would have done more quiet time, more soul searching, you know, it wouldn't have gotten to the point to where I'm leaving, you know, the way that I left. Because sometimes I will say that I look back and I'm like, well, maybe, you know, I shouldn't have left, because you know, you hit some hardships in business. It's not going to be
don't want to burn the bridges.
Yeah, right. You know, I ran into, like, you know, it was financially tight and stuff like that. So sometimes I wish I would have stayed longer, but if I would have taken care of me, I wouldn't have just been so fed up to where I was just like, you know what, fuck this.
Yeah, that's great advice.
I did put my 2-week notice in. Yeah. I ain't doing like that.
I ain't putting no 2-week notice in. I told them I'm out. But, you know, I think that's just to piggyback off what you were saying. I even tell, like, Takia, I tell everybody this now. Don't put anything above your mental health. You know what I'm saying? How you feeling. That really matters, how your energy is. I'm not finna let no dollar amount go before that. If I'm going to work every day and I hate that shit, I'm gonna try to figure out a way to get out of this or maneuver, because I can't deal with that. Think about coming home every day feeling like shit. Who want to do that? Nobody. So you gotta always put yourself first. Put your mental health and your how you feel first before anything. And
have a circle around you that is logical. You know, don't be around them emotional friends who are guided by the emotions and they just like, you know what, fuck that shit. Just quit that job. No. We
be rational.
Yes, we have bills and the bills have to get paid. And to me, I don't believe in leaving one income without another. You know, so I know a lot of people, they react on emotions and stuff like that. You know, we're being tested in life every single day.
That's true.
Me getting reported to HR, that's a test. You know, it's a test. And I feel like for me, I passed the test. You know, I passed the test because I understood exactly what the young lady was trying to do. And I made a decision based on it. I didn't retaliate. I didn't report anything to HR on her. I didn't go about it that way. I handled it in a manner to where it's just like, you know what? You know, it's an underlying issue. God is trying to talk to you and tell you something. And you really need to dive deep and focus on that, because the other part of it was a distraction. You know, all the emotional, her talking about me and slandering me and all that was to bring out that emotionalness in me. And I was like, no, let me sit down. You know, you getting closer to 30, you start looking at stuff differently. It's like, I can't keep doing this.
Can't be popping off on these folks out of nowhere.
Just focus on you, but make sure you have a circle around you that helps you make smart decisions, not making decisions based on how you feel and emotions and stuff like that. Because you got to remember, at these jobs, these managers, they manipulate you to do what they want you to do, not necessarily what's best for you.
Very true.
It's their best interest, not your best interest. Yep. So yeah, don't disrespect them, handle them accordingly, but you know, do what's best for you, and just bow gracefully, put that notice in, and keep it moving. You can hang in there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you can do this.
Right.
So you guys, I think that's gonna wrap up today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. We got some more to come. Make sure y'all subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on all of our social media. We got it tagged and everything. So yeah, see you guys later.
The Sweet and Savory Sistas out.